Hello everybody at Cymatic TV, welcome to your energy update. There's a few things to go through this week and about the energy that's coming through this week here. We've just had on the morning of the eclipse, and if you haven't seen the eclipse video explaining about the energy connected to this week's eclipse that happened yesterday, please do go and have a look at that. It will be linked somewhere around my head at some given point. Yes, so do go in there and see what the energy that's coming through there for you there. So as I say, there's been an M flare. It hasn't actually produced a lot, but what it does is it's going to be coming through, hitting Earth. It's directed at Earth on the 17th of October. Now, that's in the sort of interim part after the eclipse. So basically, I think it's an energy just that helps to push us on, to keep us going in the same direction, to keep us pushing in that sort of direction there. We're beginning to be going a little bit more into that and seeing how that affects the Earth as well. You'll also be seeing my little bit of my report that I did on the exact timing of the eclipse, which I was dowsing here at this most beautiful church in the southeast of the UK. We'll also be getting the messages from the Earth and also the chakra sequences. So stay with us and don't forget to subscribe and click that bell.
Don't believe, just know. Cymatic TV, turning vibration into reality.
So here we are in this late autumn or mid-autumn sunset here at Aldington Church. An absolutely beautiful church. Just behind me, just over on this section here, sorry, hang on a second, I'll get my dowsing rods together. That section there, that's where the male line goes through, and then the female line goes all the way along the church, as it were. So we'll be having a look at that. You'll be seeing in the dowsing. Now, there is a particular thing going on with the dowsing, which you will see as we go forth, because we're going to be showing you the difference between the dowsing during the eclipse and the dowsing that I've just done now. And what does it mean? There's a little bit more of a calming of the energy after the eclipse that has come through. So there might have been an intensity over this weekend where you were desiring to get things done, giving your passions a real sort of overload. Now, that could have actually sort of, like having too much sort of air into a fire or an engine, that could sort of choke the engine. So you might have felt sort of late Sunday that it was sort of like choke your enthusiasm and so forth. But what it has in general sort of done is brought things down to a calm, so we can actually see perfectly the fundamental desires that comes from our sacrum and heads right into our root chakra. And that solar flare, as you can well see around me now, happened just on the right hand limb, so it was gradually moving away from the Earth. It didn't produce a great deal of plasma as far as I can see. There is some, but not a great deal of plasma. So there will be, there's a certain degree of emotional charge to this energy coming up during this week. It's not too intense, but what it is it has opened up the coronal hole, which you will be able to see on this section here now. And you can see that little coronal hole that's just before it. It starts playing with it, and I think that's going to build it. And this is all part of the changing seasons of the sun as we move from the solar maximum through to solar minimum. And that transitional period there is that often that fight between the sunspots and the coronal holes. Now, that's a difference between air and fire energy with the sunspots and earth energy with the coronal hole. And mixed into all of that is the filament energies, and they tend to be very vibrant during that transition from solar maximum down to solar minimum. This is where excuse me, I just got to change hands. This is where a lot of emotional sort of time comes in by from an exciting sort of or vibrant year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, and then moves into something that's a bit more emotional, how we actually put this into place as we come into the corona hole season, which is the solar minimum, and that's when we start physically doing things. So there is a real cycle to this whole sort of process which you can connect to and realize that. And realizing it is realizing your date of birth. So then you can work out what was going on in the solar cycle when you were born. It will help you to understand the ebbs and flows of yourself in regards to energy. So that corona hole is showing a little bit more sort of teeth, as it were. And we saw that today with the earthquakes again in Afghanistan. So this is near the crown chakra on my map. And this is teeing up, I think, the energy almost like through our fundamental desires of what we want to do in life, of what we want to live. And this is live individually, but also collectively. Live with one another, to be that righteous person in accordance to energy, basically. And with that connection with energy and that righteous path we've got going on, this is where the crown chakra will come in and bring in the consciousness to this righteous path. And that's what the lunar eclipse is all about at the end of the month. I will be doing a special on that in this channel here, so make sure you are subscribed and click that bell so you get the notifications on that. So this is where it's gradually teeing us up for. It's building up those roots chakra, that sort of fundamental things of getting things done, of putting things physically into place in order to sort of live fully our sort of karmic individual and collective path. So let's go down to the line now and let's just see what's going on with the energies here. As you can see, I've already dowsed the line today, and let's just see what the difference is between the line that I've been dowsing and the line that was dowsed during the eclipse moment. So here we are, directly in front of, let me just show you, directly in front of the, standing right on the ley line, the energy line. I don't know why I'm talking quietly, maybe because I'm in the church guards, you know. Not that I'm going to wake anybody up, let's be honest, you know. There's been a lot of spirits around over the last month, to be honest, floating around that I've seen, certainly in my healing sessions. And generally when I'm working with energy, sometimes you can see spirits wandering through. And there's been a lot at the moment. And it could well be the place I'm living in, France, but there's been a lot. So let's just get in and let's just see what the connection is with this. So we can still feel the tail end of that root chakra that was going on yesterday in the eclipse. As you could well see. Chakras as it comes in. Okay, so that's the full connection there. Interesting. There's a certain rooting that's going on that's really pulling down on the lower sections of the legs. It's almost pulling me back, as it were. So I've definitely got that sort of, that root chakra that's playing in, but there is also the line overall is the solar plexus. It is playing on that. It plays a little bit higher up towards the heart chakra, but it also slightly just below, more towards the sacrum as well. That's the main sort of effects that I'm getting off the line, but the most impressioning side of things, I need to just turn around here because I like to take it standing along the flow more than anything else. But it's still pushing me more this way. And that's probably got to do with the vortex, where we have two lines that crosses. You create like a tunnel that goes down into the center of the earth, and that's the sort of thing we use to voyage through space. But that's on another video to do with meditation. But today, and we've got that sacrum as well that plays into it. So there's still vibration. The earth is still ringing like a bell according to those two chakras at the moment. And I think we're going to see that coming through to the 17th of October when this flare comes through. And I think that'll put the, change the frequency slightly and it will move it on. Let's just see what the chakra sequence is, because we can feel it a lot better. Just waiting. There you go. There's the starting point of the chakras. So it goes up to the crown and the root at exactly the same time. This is really beautiful energy, actually. And then we have the solar plexus. The third eye is very strong indeed. And then we get the throat chakra, because they are the same chakra, the third eye and the throat chakra, as much as the crown and the root is the same chakra. And there we have the sacrum, very light, very easy going, not too much pressure on it. And then we come up to the heart chakra there. It really flows lovely. And then we come back to the beginning. A real change in the energy between yesterday and today. There is no doubt about it. The energy yesterday, as you well saw, was pulling into the ground. It was so root orientated. It was very, very strong indeed. Here is a lot easier to feel the chakra sequences on this line at the moment. And I think here is as well, is using this week here, I think it's certainly up to the 17th, and I will do a little bit of a report, a midweek energy update on that 17th as well, to see what's going on there, because I think that's going to change it slightly. But what it's saying here is use your fundamental desires, our karmic path, as it were, in order to invigorate our heart, to engage in our pathway in a very light and hearty way. An enjoyment about being on the path, I think, is really important. And it's also through this clear vision of the pathway, which we got with the third eye and the throat chakra. I think that's really important as well. Using your inner vision to confirm your pathway, to know your pathway as you go forward. And as you go forward, then therefore you do the introduction of your sacrum, and which will then allow your heart to start singing about your pathway and enjoy the fact that you're fully on your pathway. The one other thing that was very noticeable was the beginning part, where we had the crown chakra and the root chakra working at the same time. Now, they are the same chakra, and this is a particular type of energy as well. This is all about the vertical energy that goes up, the kundalini that goes up, and the other chakras sort of hang off that main vertical energy. And this is what I call your raison d'etre, your reason for being here, your righteous path. And it is all about this righteous path. This is the week to get on your righteous path. It's not a case of getting on your high horse. It's just doing what you know you should be doing in accordance to energy, basically. And it will become very, very clear for you as you're going forward. Let's just see if we can get a message from the earth, because we did get a message yesterday, and I will play that message now. Let's just see if there's some sort of sequencing that comes out of it. Whichever sequencing that comes out, sometimes it goes up quite high, nicely to the throat, but it's the root chakra is phenomenal. Now is the time to stand and be counted. I keep getting that back all the time. And I think this is done on an individual basis rather than a collective basis. So yeah, that's how it sort of went on for me. Wondering how it went on for you. Just leave a comment in the below. It'd be lovely to hear from you, to sort of see what you think about the situation, how you experienced it, with the fundamental ideas as well. Something that needs to be said on that. I do explain like fundamental ideas of being saying like I'm hungry, and then you got your heart's desires that are being, in that case I'd like a cheese and rocket pizza or whatever, that's the sort of thing I think. But how do we do that in our own personal life in a fundamental way? Well, if I want to live in line with nature and etc., I have to then create a situation within my workspace and with everything that I do in my own personal life in order to be in step with that. And they should be fundamental ideas, fundamental desires. And then how I go about it, You know, I like different music to you, without doubt. And it's just the sort of song that I play along with how I put myself in step with nature will change. And that's what makes us all individual. But the fundamental desires don't change. And I think that's what the root thing is sort of saying, now is time to get rooted in this logical evolution, this logical progression of the natural laws, as it were. We don't really need laws. Thought for the day, I guess that. Anyway, but now let's get a message from the earth. We're connecting to that energy again. That's beautiful. Now we're going to go into the crossing point and we're going to go down into the center of the earth. I'm going to lay on the back of the center of the earth. Lay my back on the center of the earth. That's beautiful. It's like it's showing me like a uniform, not a uniform as in a uniform we wear, but like an army together. But it's not they're not carrying weapons. It's an army of people that are just logically progressing forward. And it's time to ascend. It's time for us to step up to our righteous path and ascend into what we should be, to the people we should be, to living righteousness. Laws doesn't necessarily mean that they are right. You know, we know fundamentally within us what is right. Just see what other things. Okay, I thank you. Let me just come back up and inside. And there we go, we're back in the body, as it were, totally. There is another message just sort of saying, be gentle. And I think that's what that joy about being on our pathway is all about. So yes, a lovely message. It's not so urgent as it was in the eclipse. It's almost as if like we are now on march. We should be stepping forward and walking towards what we perceive to be the world that we wish to live in. Be the example that you wish to give. You know, that sort of thing. Absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice energy. You know, if you're going out dowsing, tell me all about it. Tell me what you think about the energy, where you feel it, where it feels for you, what the messages may be within the comments below. It'd be absolutely beautiful. Do appreciate you being here, really do. It's an absolute beautiful family that we're gradually building here. So I will see you on the 17th, all about that solar flare impact, and we'll see what's going on with the energy. We'll be coming back here so we get a good reference point to where we are with the constant energies and stuff like that. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you for all the support. I will see you soon. In the meantime, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.